a big old splinter in my hand. So we're gonna put some gloves on for this. So welcome back to Grounded Growing and Gardening. Yesterday in the video I said it was the 29th. Today is actually the 29th. And it is beautiful here today. It's gonna be dropped down into freezing temperatures overnight. Like a couple of days, I think like 2 days this week, and then we're going to be back up to 30s, 40s at night for the next few weeks after that. So what I'm doing today is just chaos planting like we did yesterday. I'll show you all my seeds before I put them in the ground. But a lot of things, I've been working on learning Ayurvedic eating for your dosha. Mine is Vata and Kapha, and so I'm starting to work on having some things in my garden that are a little more balancing for my body. I am no expert at this. I'm brand new to this eating for your body type, but since I have some of the seeds that go along with that, I'm going to go ahead and plant them. So all I'm going to be doing is raking this top layer of this is just like mulch, like wood chips that you would put in with your animals. I did that to delineate where planting space was so that when my kiddos come out here, they don't accidentally step in the garden and they know where to walk on the wood mulch. But I'm gonna go ahead and rake all this back and pull a little bit of grass out that isn't supposed to be here, although that actually may be garlic over there. I'll have to smell it. And get some seeds that will either overwinter here in this bed or go ahead and start sprouting pretty quick in this bed. Some mustard and some greens and, oh gosh, I can't even remember what all I have in my box now, but we'll get to that in a minute. So let me rake this stuff back and then we will move forward. So now that lane is open all the way down. It's probably, I don't know, 20 feet maybe? Around 16, something like that. And about 4 feet across in some areas. These zinnias were volunteers from last season, and they're pink. And they are my favorite. Now this is some garlic that was left from last season. Oh yeah. That's a little garlic. This is grass, so we're gonna go ahead and pull that out. Oh, that's the wrong way, but that's okay. Yeah, the rest of this is just some seasonal weeds. And mostly garlic. It takes a while to kind of determine the difference between garlic and grass. It took me a long time anyway. When I started planting garlic, I was like, is that garlic? Is it grass? And for several seasons, my garlic bed just got out of control. Sometimes if I can't tell, I'll pull it off and smell it. I'm really trying to work hard to make sure there's no grass in my garlic beds this season, because that was such a pain the last couple of years trying to get all the garlic out while there's grass roots. And also then it, doesn't allow for the plant to grow as much as it should because the roots of the grass are taking up the space the garlic needs to grow. Okay, so these are the seeds that we're going to be doing. I've got a little bit of this crisp mint lettuce. Most of this is from M.I. Gardener. That's where I ordered my seeds last year. I've used Baker Creek a lot. I like them. I will say, if you're going to order from M.I. Gardener, because they are a smaller company, go ahead and order early, because otherwise you won't get your seeds in when you want them. I was expecting the ship time to be more like Baker Creek, and it definitely wasn't. So, but that was okay, because I ordered way too much last year, and it gave me the opportunity to just kind of put some of it back and work on it next year. Now, This looks like way too much to go in this bed, and maybe it is, but some of these things are going to be longer growing. Like, I've got 3 different kinds of carrots. Oh, I guess those are both purple. So purple carrots and this Royal Chantenay. And then I'm putting in some mustard seed, some magenta Swiss chard, which may be too early for this, but that's okay. And then several different kinds of lettuce, Lola Rosa, Prize Head, Great Lakes Crisp Head, some Cimarron, again that crisp mint, and then some Georgian collards. Again, these are too early, but it'll be okay because seeds like to chill in the ground, right? And if they don't do their thing next season, I'm not gonna be mad at them. It's okay. I tried it. It didn't work. We'll do it again, you know? So all I'm really gonna do is kind of pour some in my hand and toss it out there. There is no rhyme or reason to what I'm doing. And I'll tell you, carrots, I've tried the ways that everybody else is like, do carrots like this, put a board on top of them, put cardboard over them. The only carrots that I've successfully grown are the ones that I threw the seeds out and forgot about them. They like chilled in the dirt for like 6 months and now they're growing. So it's cool. It's all a learning experience, and I have found that I really enjoy chaos gardening. Some people think it's crazy and they don't like it, and that's okay. To each his own, right? So I'm not gonna open that one just yet. Let's see how much of this other. I'm gonna start with my carrots. And of course, your carrots are gonna be little teeny tiny seeds. All of these really are gonna be little teeny tiny seeds. And I'm not gonna try to get them in here straight because that never works either. I am not a come back and thin out kind of a person. I'm just gonna use this whole package and see what happens. I'm not gonna do a ton of these collards because I don't know how well they'll do. But we're gonna see. And also collards, of course, they get way bigger. Kind of like a cabbage head, right? So I don't want to overdo it, but I'll just put a couple kind of everywhere. See what happens. Some over here by the fig tree. And who knows? All right. Let's see. These chard seeds are bigger. And I'm just gonna do a few of these. Seriously. That's all I'm doing, because I'm going to come back in with more of the lighter color mulch and cover this. So there's no reason to be worried about getting them in the ground, in my opinion. They're so little. Let's see. These chard seeds are bigger, and I'm just going to do a few of these. Seriously. That's all I'm doing, because I'm going to come back in with more of the lighter color mulch and cover this. So there's no reason to be worried about getting them in the ground, in my opinion. They're so little. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 kinds of lettuce and the mustard. And I have some giant mustard in the house, but I think I'm going to put it in a different bed. And what I'm going to do is just mix these up in my hands so that they will grow kind of like a salad mix. If I lose some on the ground, I'm not really worried about it. Ooh, those are pretty. Get in there. I bring these out with me so that I don't leave my seeds outside, because this is way easier to carry around than a whole bunch of packets of seeds that will get left in my pocket. I'm just gonna kind of mix this up in my hand, and then I'm just gonna go crazy. And the wind is kind of blowing that way, so it's kind of helping me spread them out a little bit. Oh, and I think before I cover this back up, oh, and I think before I cover this back up, I'm gonna throw some of this garlic. Now this garlic's been sitting, and it's already started to grow, right? So you wouldn't want to eat this. But I'm just gonna put some of this, maybe just a couple of heads. Like I said, I've got that whole bed is garlic. There's garlic out there. My favorite garlic tool, it's a Sharpie. Poke a hole. Well, this is where the garlic was last year. And the season before that, actually. So I'm not planting garlic over here because I, want garlic. I'm planting it over here to keep critters out of my beds. I'm gonna have plenty of garlic for my own use and probably to sell, maybe finally this year. Who knows? But definitely enough to feed my family and make some dried garlic for seasoning, that sort of thing. Oh, these are little baddies. Get them too close together, they don't do anything as far as bulbing up, which is why these are so little from last season. There's a few big ones. Ooh, that's a red. It's a red bulb. I like those. They're tasty. I'm so sorry. No. Hopefully that'll chop and drop and not reroot itself, but we'll see. garlic. I'm so sorry. No. Hopefully that'll chop and drop and not reroot itself, but we'll see. I'm gonna leave this ridge. This water runs down this hill. I think I'm gonna leave that right there. Let it be a little bit of a barrier. And I'm pretty happy with that. And I'm not gonna water today because we've had quite a bit of rain. And so the ground's nice and moist. I say that. I may wet it down just a hair yet. There's so much value in what would be called lazy gardening, because if you make something very, very hard for yourself and you have a lot on your plate or you're neurodivergent and you forget about stuff, then it's super important to give yourself easier tasks, right? Like if I had to row out all of this stuff that I just planted, that was what, half a dozen or more things that would take me hours, and I would probably never do it again. Just being real. I love to garden, but I don't want to be out here pulling weeds all the time. That's why I did this version instead of like a standard garden. Besides the fact that it's really healthier for the soil, it makes it so much easier to just come out here and spend 15 minutes walking around the garden, like degrassifying things. Sorry, I got started. Okay, but yeah, like pulling the grass out of this section of garden would have been impossible 2 years ago. Even last season, it was really, really hard for me to keep up with. And all of this stuff over here, all of the barren spots where the chickens just moved off of, it was just grass. And there is a creek bed not far from here that doesn't get maintained, and it has, I don't even know what kind of grass it is, but it is I believe it's a non-native invasive, and it's about 16 feet tall. So I have seeds that blow, I mean, that's half a mile away, but we get the seeds in here. I'm constantly walking around my yard and pulling that grass as it's trying to grow. And I had some grow in this bed last season, and so when I went to pull the garlic, I had to start pulling that up. But I was having to dig down. It looked like crab legs, the roots did. And again, I don't know what kind of grass that is, but I do know I don't want it. And so I have to make sure that I am weeding enough to keep things out of the garden that we don't want here, but also I have to know myself and to garden in a way that is functional for me. That is keeping a lot of mulch down, keeping a lot of ground cover, and doing things in kind of a chaotic looking way so that it makes my life easier, because some of those seeds are not going to grow and some of them are. And the ones that didn't, I'll make a note in my brain or on here for me to look back at later and be like, yeah, but I have more, right? Seeds are cheap. Cheap. Maybe I spend too much time with my chickens. Anyway, you guys, thanks for hanging out with me today. As always, remember to stay grounded, keep growing, and water yourself every day. Mwah. Till next time. Okay, real quick before just as an end cap, I didn't know I was gonna do this. I just accidentally pulled an onion. So I'm going to show you that, and then I'm going to show you my giant, there's my camera, tripod, my giant radish that I've been working on. It's on my TikTok, but I haven't shown you guys on my YouTube, so we're going to look at that real quick. Okay, first of all, it's very hard to tell, but I started pulling this thinking it was grass. This is an onion. I just threw out seeds. This is why you got to be careful when you chaos garden. You got to kind of leave stuff alone. That's an onion. So we're gonna leave that there. I put it back, I pulled it up, but I stuck it back in the ground, so it's completely fine. Maybe I need to move it out of the walkway. Yeah, we're gonna move it out of the walkway. But yeah, there's an onion. Put it over, stick it over here by my rogue radishes that have decided, I forgot to pull them. Like there were a whole bunch of watermelon vines over here too. And so these radishes got left. And now obviously they're way too big to eat, but I am so curious to see how big they're gonna grow. So I've just been letting them do their thing. Look how big that is. This is giant. These are icicle radishes. And then over here, I have this one that is a black beauty radish. I don't know how well you guys can see that. Oh yeah, look at that thing, huge. we are having a freeze pretty soon, so it may not last through the freeze, but we'll see. I just really kind of want to see how big it's going to get. So now officially, we're done, and I'll see you guys next time.